don't you start by giving me your name and what happened out here?
Less reason over. We came home about 11 o'clock last night. Noticed only one goat was making noise. Didn't give it much account. It's been snowing. Thought the others were hunkered up. First sign. Second, when we went inside, rice all over the inside of the house. Didn't put two and two together. Came out this morning, mid-morning. Noticed the gate. From the top floor, I noticed the gate was open to the chicken coop. Went outside. They went outside first. Discovered the carcasses, goat carcasses scattered in the backyard and in the pen.
So all the goats that you found were inside the fence?
No, one goat was outside the area that's usually kept in the backyard up next to the house.
Up next to the house, but still inside the yard fence then?
Still inside the yard fence.
Okay, and then was there any damage you saw into any of the paddocks?
Yes, the padlock, the bolt that kept the gate to the pen closed was ripped off forcefully.
Ripped off forcefully, and was there any damage to the door itself?
Yes, the top of the frame of the door looked like pressure had been applied and the screw was knocked out, and the door was damaged.
Okay, did you see any other damage to any other of the paddocks or pens?
Yes, in the chicken coop there was a door that goes into the side there that was pulled open.
Okay, and did anything look disturbed inside?
Yes, and inside it looked like an egg had been dropped in a place that the chickens don't normally lay one.
Okay, and plus we had all kinds of snow and a bunch of stuff right before that as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then we were able to recover some hair both off where the broken hasp was on the gate, and as well the overhead region, the entry points into that chicken coop. We also noticed, upon investigation, we found two large clumps of hair. If we look behind Les, back here on the gate section, on both of the gate posts on top of them, we had large clumps of hair that matches very closely the morphology of the hair we found on the broken hasp. Okay, why don't you walk us over and show us the goats?
Yes. We have 5 goats here.
Right. But there's good ones and bad ones. The ones that we figure out are deadly, we're going to tell the world.
Seems to have.
And as we can see here on the front of this one's face, we're actually looking, he's got an open hole and a couple of holes through the skull, and all the necks on everything appear to have been broke loose about the shoulder region, except for one. Except this one here doesn't seem to have a disconnected neck, but she's got a lot more damage to her head.
Seems to be a little more rigor mortis. This guy.
And so would you agree, Les, that there just seems to be kind of an absence of bleeding out and blood?
Yes, there was very little blood on the ground, and there's very little blood, as you can see, covering the animals. So, blood's either in them or gone somewhere.
Well, puncture wounds are insignificant, and all their necks were broke, so there was not much to bleed out of. Once you break that spine.
And one thing we want to point out that we've noticed on the carcasses seems to be a repeating factor here is you can see this area here that looks just like what you'd call a rug burn. Or very high friction, high pressure abrasion without any scratching to the abrasion at all. Matter of fact, you can see here where the skin's actually been ripped, torn from the pressure that was exerted on the skin, but no bite. And if we come over to this guy here, and I keep my shadow off of it, I'll show you this has been exposed to the sunlight, but it's exactly the same damage in exactly the same location. And again, it's a high pressure. This one even bruised and caused bleeding in the animal before it actually died. This one here, you can see the necks are literally, they're not connected at the base of the neck anymore. And we have a small puncture hole in this animal, but we have no receiving hole on the back of the neck. And we also have the abrasion evidence below the ear. Same thing, high pressure abrasion. And there appears to be no blood in the animal. There's very little bleeding out, and we've got an artery puncture because we can push arterial blood out. All of them, or not all of them, I'm not sure, do seem to have a small puncture or some back leg damage on each side, kind of what a canine might do, but they're lacking the canine type of damage associated with the holes. There's no rip or force put on the hole at all. It's just in and out. I notice here at this one, we also have some really severe bruising up in this component as well that doesn't have any punctures. So that hemorrhaging under the skin happened really abruptly upon death as well, or just before the animal's heart stopped. Okay, well, in conclusion, tell me, how did the dogs act? What was going on?
Well, that's what's strange. These dogs are very apt to, they're not afraid to confront coyotes all the time. And they were in the house. I mean, they should have, I don't know what would have kept them from running.
So you're saying
off.
basically the dogs were in the house, but could have come out and normally would have come out under any other condition.
Absolutely.
Yet under this singular situation where all 5 goats are murdered, one of them directly in the yard, less than what, 50, not even 30 feet from the house?
Oh, 10 feet.
Okay, 10 feet from the house, and the dogs never exited the house.
Right. And more than that, 20, 30 feet from the door that they can freely come in and out at. So
And they had to hear it.
oh yeah, they hear
had to
everything.
hear that.
They hear stuff that doesn't even happen.
And the chicken and the egg were there.
Yeah. No chicken, hurt, egg drop.
I guess another thing was, what was up with the turkey that made you curious?
Yeah, the turkey's feathers, tail feathers. Like, the only thing there was no evidence somebody had been in the pen, but yet the tail feathers were torn at the tips, like somebody reached over and tried to grab it.
Right on top of the spread tail.
Exactly, right on the very top where it'd be the high place where the turkey would be if it was up next to the fence, which he often does. That turkey's pretty stupid.
Yeah, no, I noticed he approaches.
Yeah,
he
he's very
approaches
aggressive.
what he perceives as danger, right?
Yes, he's very aggressive.
Yeah. Because he came up to us when I was down there doing that and was threatening me.
Yeah, he does that threat thing. So
Did it
that's
scare
the
you,
other thing.
Rob?
that
Oh, yeah,
was
it scared
fun.
me.
Yeah, how that happened.
Okay,
This guy
All right.
does have a pretty good.
well, I think this is going to be wrap it up in conclusion. We're off of Rogersville Road, and we'd be at the GLST/N just off that research area. We're actually just south of there. We're only about 1,200 to 1,300 feet from the river basin where the family unit's been listed to live for the last 3 years. So I guess that's going to conclude this investigation.